What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're taking a break from the series this week for my meet. So I've got my meet on Saturday. Today's Wednesday, and then I'll do the meet recap after that. So for this video, we're just going to go through kind of these last few days of my tapering into the meet, the weigh-ins on Friday, and then the meet on Saturday and the recap after that. So I'll put today's workout up on the screen here. You can see it's fairly lightweight, speed reps, focusing on the speed and execution of the commands for the powerlifting meet. So if you don't know, powerlifting meets, you don't just pick the weight up and lift it as fast as you can. There's actually commands you have to follow and listen to. And even if you lift the weight, if you mess up the commands, you don't get the weight recorded. You get, red lighted and it doesn't count. So the order of the lifts is squat, bench, deadlift, and all lifts have a platform ready command, which just means the weights are loaded and it's ready for you. And I think you have like a minute after they say that to, get under the bar and start your lift. Platform ready, you lift the weight off the bar, walk it back, and then you have to be completely motionless. They say start. You squat down to depth and back up, and then you have to stop there motionless again at the top, and they say rack, and then you rack it. So a lot of people mess up because they either get too excited about lifting the weight, they step it out and then just lift right away, or they get too excited about hitting the weight and they come up and then rack it right away and miss the rack command. For bench, you have the platform ready, and then you either lift it off yourself or have somebody help you lift it off, and then you have to be motionless at the top. They say start, you bring it down to your chest, and then you have to be completely motionless at your chest. You actually pause at your chest, motionless bar. And then they say press, you press it, you stop at the top again, and they say rack, and you rack it. So obviously people mess up, they get excited and they press right away, or they get excited and they start the lift right away before the start command, or they hit their chest and they press it, because that's how most people bench in training. That's how I've benched in training before I started tapering for this meet. And then they hit the weight, they get excited and they just rack it. And then the deadlift, you just have one command after platform ready, it's down. So platform ready, you go up and you lift, and you have to be completely locked out at the top. They say down, you put the weight down and you keep control of the weight, you don't drop it. So if you open your hands and drop it, the lift doesn't count. So you actually put the weight down and then you're fine. So you just have to lift it, wait to here down, completely lock out, wait to here down and put it down. Again, a lot of people get excited, they hit their top weight and then they get excited and put the weight down and don't listen for the command. The strategy is gonna be to hit weights I know I can hit for the first attempt. So for every lift, you have 3 attempts. And so my first attempts are gonna be weights that I know 100% I can hit. I've hit them in training in one day. I did that last week, and really focus on the commands. So know I can hit the weights, do the commands. And then the second attempt is gonna be a weight that I'm, 90% sure I can hit, like pretty sure I can hit. Focus on the commands there. And then the last attempt is gonna be, a grinder, like not sure if I can hit it. That's my big goal for the meet. So off the top of my head, my openers, if I remember correctly, are going to be 355-pound squat, 255-pound bench, and 440-pound deadlift. So this week has just been a taper in. Like I said, I'll post the week here so you can see there's been no running, just speed work. So squat, bench, deadlift, speed work Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday. The weight's getting lighter and lighter each day before the meet. So with all that said, there's a little recap of the week. My plan for the powerlifting meet, I'm going to go in and hit these lifts. It's not going to take too long. I'm literally doing, 2 sets of 2 on squat, bench, and deadlift, 12 total reps. Right? Yeah, 12 total reps. So I'm going to go in and hit that. And then I will see you guys to talk a little bit more about my thoughts leading into the meet. And obviously you guys will come along with me the rest of the week to the meet and then after the meet. Well, that was pretty quick. So I don't really have much planned for the rest of the day as far as the meet goes. I'm gonna go home and do some more coaching stuff, do some more stuff with my day job. Tomorrow I've got a rest day, so that's gonna be just making sure all my gear is ready for the meet and the weigh-ins on Friday, because I have to bring all the gear to the weigh-ins. So I will probably see you guys again Friday morning for the workout. I'm planning to lift early. That way I can kind of have the max amount of time between my lift before my actual meet on Saturday. So I'm planning to get up and lift early, probably Friday. And then I don't know if I'm doing the morning weigh-ins or the evening weigh-ins yet. I think I weigh like 207 right now. I've been purposefully like just eating a lot of protein, a lot of carbs. And as the running has tapered off, I think the body weight's come up a little bit, but I'm not concerned about it. My weight class goes to 220 pounds, I believe. So I'm already gonna be like lower end of my weight class. So I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I'll see you guys Friday morning for the workout, and maybe tomorrow a little bit to show you the gear as I lay it out for Friday. And then we'll discuss when I'm gonna weigh in and my plan for the meet and everything. All right, what's up guys? It is Thursday night. I've got weigh-ins tomorrow, so I've laid out all my gear to make sure I have it, because I have to bring my gear tomorrow. That way they can check it and make sure it all looks good. And I also have to give my opening attempts and obviously weigh in for my weight class. So I've laid my gear out here in order from top to bottom, just so I can remember it. So I've got my shoes that I am gonna be squatting and benching in, my shoes that I'm gonna be deadlifting in, and my deadlift socks. You need deadlift socks so you don't bleed on the bar if you scrape your knees. My singlet, knee sleeves, my bench shirt, my belt, and my wrist wraps. So that should be everything I need. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Run over that one more time. Shoes. Yeah, that should be everything I need, because I'm competing in the raw division, so nothing else crazy. See, I'm getting very nervous. I'm very excited. I always get super nervous and then kind of calm down a little right before. But this is my first lifting meet ever, so I am nervous. I'm not really sure how the day's gonna go. I read the entire rule book earlier today that was sent in an email, so I kind of understand how things are supposed to go. I'm not 100% sure on the commands yet. The commands that I told you guys yesterday when I was lifting. I think this federation, this Powerlifting Federation, is a little bit different. So we're gonna see when I get there. But as far as the rules, there wasn't like a start command for the squat or a start command for the bench. So again, we'll see when I get to the meet tomorrow, or to the weigh-ins tomorrow. I'll ask about it. Apparently a lot of people mess up the commands on their first meet. I'm feeling fairly comfortable with it, because my time in the military, I feel like I can just turn my brain off and react to when people say things and not think too much. So I'm gonna kind of try to get in that mindset of just be a dumb, muscle person and don't do anything unless I'm told. So, hey, start, press, rack, like don't even think about it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. I'm probably gonna weigh in somewhere around 207 to 210-ish. I haven't weighed myself in a little while, but I'm pretty sure that's where I'm sitting at, so totally fine. But I'm gonna pack all my gear up here into my gym bag, and then we'll see you guys for the rest of the day and into the meet. I'm excited. It was kind of a last minute sign up. I signed up with like 4 or 5 weeks, so didn't have a lot of time to think about it. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for all that. And that is a wrap.
right.
Yeah, me too. Oh, what's up guys? I weighed in at 93 kilos, which is 205 pounds, actually a little lighter than I thought I was gonna weigh in, but got the height set for my squat and bench and got the weigh in. Got a cool shirt actually, so here, I'll show you. Got a cool shirt. Can you see it well? Yeah, cool. This is a cool gym. It's a little gym hidden back here. I like the vibe. So anyways, I've got a lot to do today. Work-wise, coaching-wise, I got some things to do, and I am gonna charge all my camera stuff and everything for tomorrow. So I'm gonna get going and do that. So I'll see you guys in the morning. I've got to get here early tomorrow to get ready for the meet. So. What's up guys, we made it to the meet. It was a fun week last week, right into the meet. And so now I'm just gonna give you guys a voiceover while we go through the video. So that way you can get kind of an immersive experience as far as how I was feeling, how things were going, and you can kind of see the meet. So that said, let's get started. So we made it to the gym. It was 8 a.m. when I showed up because the meet rules were 8 a.m. And the flights weren't out yet. So the flights didn't go out until the day before on Instagram, and I didn't even know that. So I showed up with no information, just ready for the rules brief at 8 a.m. This gym was awesome. Apparently they're closing on the 31st of December this year, which is kind of sad. The meet was pretty big because the meet is closed, or the gym is closing, and there were a lot of people that have done this meet there for a long time. And so it was a very emotional time. Here's the rules brief at 8 a.m. So I got there, like 7:30. I really went over the rules. You can see me tense and nervous there, just kind of waiting to figure out the commands and stuff like that. I read over the rule book, but I wanted to see how the day was going to be different. Here I am finding out that I'm not until the last flight. So there were 40 people in the 3 flights before me. So that meant I waited about an hour and a half to 2 hours between lifts. And so the lifts were supposed to start at 9 a.m. I didn't start warming up until about 10:45. So I had all this time to just kind of be, tense, be nervous, try to figure out what to do with myself. So I, sat on my phone some, ate some bagels, had some Sour Patch Kids, watched other people lift, which was tense. That squat platform is right up front and center in front of everybody. There was a lot of people there, so it was fairly nerve-wracking, but I did my best to stay calm, getting ready to lift. You can see them there loading the bar, making sure the monolift is all set up well. A ton of people showed up for the squats. I think there were some people setting national records on squats, so the crowd was really full, the energy was high. Here's the judge. You can see him give the rack command once the person hits the top. There's the rack command. So once you hit the top, if you rack it without that command, then you don't get the lift. Finally, I started warming up when the flight before me was about halfway through their first attempts. So there was about 14 people in the flight before me. You average like 1 minute per person per lift. So here I am, really tense, really nervous now. I've been sitting around all morning. I dry scooped my pre-workout, stim-free pre-workout, right before warming up. And so I'm just really focusing on execution because, I squatted my own, I videoed on my own, but I didn't know what the judges were gonna look at. I knew what the judges were gonna look at, but I didn't know if my squats were, good enough to standard. So I just kind of worked up. My opening squat attempt was 252 pounds, I believe. 352 pounds, not 252. So I just kind of worked up to, I believe it was 335, just like 20 pounds shy. All these warm-ups felt very heavy actually, relative to how they normally feel, so I was not super confident going into the actual lifts. You can see the nerves there. I was just like, man, these are not feeling good. These feel heavy. I attributed that to the nerves, to standing around all morning when I wasn't ready for it, to probably being underfueled at this point already in the morning, just because I didn't plan to wait to lift until 11. I kind of planned to lift around 9:45 at the latest. I was kind of in a hurry because I didn't know what time I had to get over to the waiting area, so you can see me kind of hurry up and grab my stuff there. And I'm standing over by the waiting area watching the flight before us finish up, kind of planning like mentally, hey, how's this gonna feel? What is this gonna look like? Trying to get myself in the zone because I was kind of in the zone when I showed up, and then I was kind of thrown off with how long I had to wait. And so now I'm trying to get myself just mentally back into the zone to lift heavy weight. And I was really nervous, like I said, because the warm-ups felt heavy. Here I am looking for the people that are in front of me because I went earlier in the morning and found a few of the people in front of my flight. So here's my first attempt. Again, I believe it was 352. The nerves were pretty high here, first time being out on the platform in front of everybody. You can see it moved pretty well. It felt heavier than I liked, but it moved pretty well. I watched this video back right after I lifted before I went and gave my next attempt, because between every time you give the next attempt. So this next attempt, if I remember correctly, was 385 pounds. So I was really nervous for this one because depending on how this one felt would determine what my last attempt was going to be, and I was shooting for that 405.6 pound last attempt. It looks much faster on camera, but those moments felt like eternity when I was up there, even just waiting to get under the bar. You can see that felt kind of tight. I hit that sticking point there. So I was pretty nervous about my next attempt, but I decided to just go for it for 405.6. You know, it's in kilograms, so it wasn't quite round to the nearest pound. So 405.6 pounds on the bar. I was super nervous for this one because this is a 20 or 30 pound squat PR, and I didn't know if I could lift it. So you can see I hit that sticking point there. It doesn't look like it was super long on the video, but it felt really long to me. So now I just went back. I knew I had about an hour and a half until bench, so I ate a good amount. I ate like 2 bagels, 2 Dave's Killer bagels, some Sour Patch Kids, bought a Gatorade. And here I am warming up for bench now. There weren't a ton of benches, so I had to work in. I think there was 4 benches for about 15 people to warm up. So I had to work in with some people. My opening bench attempt was 255 pounds, and that's, again, a weight I knew I could hit because of the commands. I just wanted to really make sure I could execute those commands. So I'm working up here, practicing the pause, and some of the other people there were nice enough to kind of do commands for me. We kind of did commands for each other just to mentally get in the game for the lifts. And here we are, my first attempt. This was much less nerve-wracking because I'd been out on the platform before and because I wasn't looking at everybody that was staring at me. I didn't feel super hyped for this because I was very confident in this, and I was kind of tired from not eating enough and just being around all day. This was probably around 1 or 1:30, if I remember correctly. Yeah, probably around 1 o'clock. So there you go, 255 moves smooth. My next attempt was 280. I, again, wasn't feeling super tense because I knew for a fact I could hit 280. I've hit 275 pretty easily in training before. So I knew for a fact I could hit 280. And you see how easily that moved for me. There wasn't any sticking point at all. So I decided to go up to 302 pounds. It was either I shoot for 299.7 or 302 with the kilograms, and I wanted to get that 3 on there. You know, my ego wanted that 300 pound bench. So I was kind of nervous, but not really, because going into this meet, I was pretty confident with a 300 pound bench based on how things have moved in training. So you can see here I'm just getting ready with my wrist wraps to go out for my 3rd attempt at bench. Again, not a lot of nerves. I was mainly just focused and felt pretty confident in this lift. It came off really easy. It felt fairly easy on the liftoff, and even on the eccentric on the way down, it felt pretty easy. They told me to press. It came off my chest pretty quick, and then it just misgrooved. I don't know. I think I mistimed my leg drive a little bit because it had a good amount of speed coming off, and I didn't even get any time to push through the sticking point because they, you know, take the bar as soon as it changes direction. So I went back, tried to eat some more food. I didn't bring much, so I tried to eat some more food. These first few warm-ups for deadlifts, I got pretty lightheaded, and some girl actually passed out while I was warming up for deadlifts, so I was pretty, you know, she passed out on the platform. So I was pretty stressed about passing out on the platform. This was about 3:45 to 4 p.m., I believe. Oh, there you go, the clock's on the back. It's 4 p.m., 4 something when I'm warming up for deadlifts here. So I got there at 7:30, now it's 4. I did not expect it to go that long. It was fun, definitely a learning experience there. After the first few warm-up sets, I didn't feel lightheaded anymore. I started to feel a little bit better. I had taken some more stim-free pre-workout when I started to warm up, so that was finally starting to hit. My first attempt here, 440 point something pounds. I knew I could hit it 100% pretty easy. I was just focusing on the execution because they were failing a lot of people on their deadlifts for bad form, for not completely locking out their knees or their hips. So you can see that moved pretty well. I was starting to get nervous because depending on how this moved was going to depend on how the last attempt goes, and I really wanted to hit that 500.4 pound PR because I PR'd my back squat by like 20 pounds, I PR'd my bench, and I wanted to PR my deadlift too. So I went back, pretty nervous, Wasn't sure if I was going to pass out, wasn't sure if I was going to hit it. I was really fighting through my demons here, waiting in line. You can see me there. I was really worried, really fighting the demons, really focused in. I didn't even know the music had stopped when I went up to deadlift, and the announcer had said something. I didn't hear anything because I couldn't hear anything but like ringing in my ears. My vision was blurry, and I was just waiting to hear the judge say down. And just like that, 500.4 pound deadlift, PR'd my back squat by 20 or 30 pounds, PR'd my bench, and PR'd my deadlift by about 0.4 pounds, depending on, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. Overall, the meet felt great. The meet was so much fun. It was super high energy. It was actually fairly difficult for me to relax in between lifts, so that's a skill that I definitely need to get better at. Because being there from 7:30 to 4 p.m., I can't, you can't just redline all day. I definitely want to do another one. The come down this week has been rough. Because the adrenaline's high, the caffeine is high, just everything is high on Saturday all day. And then the rest of the week has kind of felt blah. I've ran once with the run club. I didn't work out today. I didn't work out Sunday or Monday. So just getting back in the swing of things. The holidays are coming. I've got some ultra marathons on the schedule. I'm definitely putting another powerlifting meet on the schedule. I just missed the 1,200 pound total. If I would have gone for 295 on bench, which I'm like 98% sure I could have hit, I would have hit 1,200 pound total, but my ego wanted that 3 on the bar, and yeah, I just missed it. So my total came in at 1185. 1,200 was my big goal, so I'm kind of sad that I missed that. But again, I'm pretty confident I could have hit it if I had been a little more conservative on the bench and not ego lifted that 302. I even think that 302 was maybe in the bag if I would have had a little more energy, a little bit better food, and timed my kind of leg drive a little bit better on that bench. But it is what it is. I did pretty good for my first meet. I had a ton of fun. I met some awesome people, and it was really cool to be a part of this meet, being that it was the last meet at this gym, and this meet organizer is like well known in the area and well loved, and gave a speech afterwards. Cried. There was emotion. It was cool. I really love the contrast between the two sports that I love, ultra marathons, ultra endurance, and powerlifting, because the communities are both very welcoming. They're both awesome, and they're both super helpful, and it's just awesome communities to be a part of. Totally different ends of the spectrum, and I love being able to experience both of those things in my training, in my sports, in the sports that I compete in. If you're interested and want to learn more about training for strength and endurance at the same time, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Our hybrid training series is going to resume next week. You can follow me on Instagram. I post helpful little tips, and you can send me a DM if you have any specific questions. I also have a training group if you're interested. I offer one-on-one coaching. But if you don't want any of that, there is definitely just a lot of free content here on YouTube, on my podcast, and on my Instagram. So if you have any specific questions, comment them below. Send me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to help. I just want to help as many people as possible do all the sports that I love and get so much value from. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this of my events, and let me know what events you're doing down in the comments. I'd love to like, comment, follow, support you, and see you go on and crush your goals. That said, I'll see you guys next week when we start back up on the hybrid training series.